with the energies that we're in, it's like this, our emotions are shifting, and I feel like our bodies are also needing to catch up.
Hi everyone, welcome to November. I have a very special person here with me today, and Lauren James is, hold on, she's not only this, so just so you know, Lauren's helping me with all my videos. So I just want to applaud Lauren and say thank you, Lauren, for all the great work she's doing on behalf of not only myself, but the collective. Um, and I've invited Lauren on today because Lauren is a wonderful astrologer. And I thought, actually, let's see what's happening with the super moon that we're in, what's happening with the energy for November. As we know, there's been already a few tragic incidents across the world. And the planets, they affect us in many different ways, including the moon. So welcome, Lauren, and I'm so excited to have you here with us.
Hi, me too. Thank you.
And Lauren has her own YouTube channel, guys, just so you know that. So please go check it out. But tell us, what's happening in November?
Oh, there's a lot happening actually. We have some planets going retrograde, Mercury being one of the main ones. It goes retrograde a few times a year. And when it does, it has like this slow burn of chaos in the background. We don't see it or feel it maybe at first, but then all of a sudden it seems like life is in this disarray and we don't know what's up, what's down. So that energy is building up right now. It goes retrograde it goes retrograde November the 9th. And so during this full moon that we're having on the 5th, or we're in the energies of it right now, the full moon, because 2 days before and 2 days after the full moon is like the energy, the energies of the full moon is there. So during this full moon, it's a super full moon. It's really intensifying this chaoticness that we might be feeling. We can't put our fingers on it. We don't understand it yet, but like there's this chaos that's building in the background along with the full
Holy,
moon that's
yeah,
happening.
that is like yesterday. Yeah, it is. It feels like chaos in a very discombobulated way. Hey? And
Mm.
it really is important to ground ourselves, as I shared in my video yesterday. So it's really kind of just trying to land into, whatever we're landing into. I see in my third eye like a whole bunch of balloons, and we're like all like, "Hey, pop the balloons, pop the
Yeah, they're
balloons,"
popping at once.
and then we're like, "Don't pop the balloons."
Yeah.
I don't want to go back there. Sorry, I've taken you off on a tangent. Okay, back to the supermoon in
Um,
November.
so, what else is going on? There's actually a lot going on with this full moon. Um, Mars today for here in the United States is November the 4th. For you guys, it's the 5th,
That's
correct,
right. Yeah,
Michelle? Okay.
yeah, we
So
are.
today, and you're feeling these energies too, but Mars is opposite to Uranus. Mars is at 0 degrees of Sagittarius. Uranus is at 0 degrees of Gemini. Uranus is retrograde also. So it's moving backwards, going over things that are radically shifting in our lives. It's in an air sign. Mars is in a fire sign. So it's quick. These quick shifts, quick changes that are going on that are unexpected. They could be explosive at times as well in our lives, maybe speaking in a way too quickly, acting too quickly, but it's also changing things in our lives that need to be shifted because Uranus is like electricity. It's electrifying. So it just does things on a dime without giving any warning. And because it's retrograde, most likely this is bringing back up things that happened in our lives back in July. Because back in July, Uranus was at this degree of 0 degrees of Gemini. So it's bringing back up something that we've been through already. But with Mars here, it's like asking us to take action to complete the task, complete the job of whatever was awoken in us in back in July. Now, on a collective level, this could be stirring up some chaos, some protests, people speaking out. Mars in Sagittarius, it wants freedom, it wants independence, it wants the good for all. But with Mars's action, it does it in an active manner. So we could see more protests occurring, especially during this time. And earthquakes, volcanoes, those could also be active during this time too, because Uranus is moving back into Taurus. The full moon is in Taurus. It's an earth sign, represents earth, earth things going on, earth changes. So we could, over the next, from now through the next week or two or so, be having more upgrades, even not earthquakes, volcanoes, and solar flares. Speaking of
Hmm.
upgrades, it could be helping us to upgrade our consciousness, helping us to awaken, to speak out for what is true for us, in a way that's good for all. Might cause some disruption in lives, but it's a necessary change that needs to happen, and it's like it's a jolt of like, let's go, let's get this going now. Stop dilly dallying and wasting time. We need to get this going and moving in the right direction of life. um, we also have, okay, so let's see, that's the full moon. Okay, and the full moon in Taurus is also asking us to ground ourselves. We might not feel grounded at this time, or we might feel sluggish at this time. As I said before, I feel very sluggish today, like a bus has just like hit me in the face. But amongst all this chaotic energy that's going on, I believe it's also asking us to find a space of stillness within the chaos, to find our footing, to find our grounding, to know what we really value, what we need to let go, what's not worth holding on to, what's not worth fighting for, and, find our space of peace amongst, the chaotic energy that's occurring at this time.
That makes such sense because even yesterday I was I was driving and I was driving one direction, wanting to head another direction. Then I did a U-turn and I was like, just go home, Michelle, just go home. And then my husband said to me, oh, should we go out on the motorbikes? And I was like, no, I need to stay put because I can't even compass mentis function right now. So if I can't handle a four-wheel drive, I won't be able to handle two wheels. So
Too much.
it makes such sense. Kind of like what comes to mind is, holding the stick as a kid and going round and round and round in circles, playing that game. And then you're like kind of drunk. That's
Yeah.
what it feels to me like. But it's interesting for me, Lauren, is with these solar flares and the supermoon, how much you can hear, but like I can feel it in my body. My body goes through this real inflamed space. I'm eating the same foods, drinking lots of water. I've like have this thirst all the time. Just these physical symptoms that happen, and it's just like, oh man, okay. I'm wishing we could just have some time out somewhere along the line.
Well, that could be also equated to what is it? Neptune and Saturn they're also retrograde in Pisces. That has to do with water. It could be inflammation, water within our skin and our bodies, sluggish, sloshing, moving around, not sure which way to go, unclear, what our bodies are having different signals, but they're unclear at this time. Like you said,
Mm,
I actually experienced this too the other day. I was so thirsty, and I'm like, why am I so thirsty? And I just, it's like no amount of water that I was drinking was quenching my thirst.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And I love the sharing because I think that there's quite a few people that go through this and you just don't know. You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yes.
kind of having to shift gears and go, okay, and this is why I love because I never knew how influenced we would be by the planets and the changes. It's like, I suppose, different seasons, it's eating a
Mm-hmm.
soup in winter. maybe not eating a stew in summer, but we kind of eat,
Hmm.
it's just keeping the warmth and then keeping the
Yep.
cool.
Hmm.
So what you're saying makes sense. It's kind of like I just feel damp at the moment, and it's like,
Hmm.
and it's not humid where we live. It's just this inflammation that's wanting to rid itself.
Come out. And you know what? It also could be, it's also specific to people as well, because in your chart, Neptune and Saturn and Pisces could be in your 12th house. I'm not saying that that's where they are right now, but
Yeah.
everybody's houses and charts are different. So everyone will experience different ailments, different things, and
Yes.
changes and shifts. But they'll be similar yet different because all of our charts are different, where the
Yeah.
planets are, what houses they are, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just bodily symptoms, emotion, and especially energetic levels, I feel are something that people will be noticing shifting. Myself, I have not been able to sleep lately, and that again, I equate that to the where Uranus is, where Mars is in my chart, and sometimes the planets like over energize you or under energize you where you feel like you can't move. But with the energies that we're in, it's like this. Our emotions are shifting, and I feel like our bodies are also needing to catch up to where our emotions are going to. It's like we're
Mm.
all moving and shifting, upgrading, but yet, our bodies also have to take time to meet us, where our energy levels are
For
as
sure.
well.
For
Yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what else? What else is coming up?
November 11th. Now, November 11th is an important day in general. It is emotionally, excuse me, intuitively, spiritually, the numbers 1111 are a big deal. Like this gateway portal, be able to connecting to other dimensions intuitively, maybe not so much speaking wise, but more, in just a different way we can connect and communicate. On that day, Jupiter is also going retrograde. Now, Jupiter is expansion, it's abundance, it's associated with luck, but it's also associated with our philosophies, what we think about things, learning, travel. I feel it's really important that it's happening on 11/11 because it's shifting us from focusing on the outside world to really focusing on the inside world. Inside world, I mean a world that we can't see with our physical eyes or feel. It's just that, maybe intuition, just different fields, beings in different fields. The Council of Eight. That's what I'm talking about. Beings that are not on our 3D physical plane.
Mm.
And with it going retrograde on that day, it's again, I feel like it's opening up and highlighting that to look within ourselves, to take action to look within ourselves. We can say that, okay, yes, I'm going to read this book on how to meditate, how to, really connect with my higher self and all this stuff, but if you don't take action on it, that you can read so much about so many things and listen, but if you don't do it, you don't do it. So I feel like with
Yes.
Jupiter here going retrograde, it's expanding the awareness and need to shift inwardly. And it's at 25 degrees. Each degree in astrology where a planet is also means something. It reflects an energy of one of the zodiac signs. 25 degrees is the degree of Aries. So it's that action degree. It's the self. It's asking us to take action on ourselves, but on the inside, not so much the outside. It's in Cancer. Cancer is that, it's got that hard outside, but very, excuse me, emotional inside. And I feel like it's asking us to get in touch with that emotional inside. Stop being so difficult and excuse me, stop being so hard on the exterior. Let the interior parts of us show.
Mm.
Because I feel like that a lot of people, excuse me, including myself, you want to always show that you're, totally okay. Everything is good. Everything is fine. But with this retrograde, especially on this 1111 portal, it's really asking us to get in touch on the inside and even let that shine on the outside. It's okay to not be perfect all the time. And I laugh and say that because I know I have this issue with, trying to strive for everything must be perfect.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's very significant that this is happening.
yeah.
What's also happening with Jupiter, excuse me, with your, it's on the 20th of November. I'm not going to switch my screen because I don't want to, it's going to be a pain to switch it. Uranus will be in a sextile. Uranus is here. It will be in Taurus. Will be in a sextile to um, Neptune. So it's an earth and water sextile. This does not happen very often. And I don't have the amount of years ago that it's happened, but it does not happen very often.
Can I share
This,
something with you
oh
quickly?
yeah.
Now that
Hmm.
you talk about the years, and sorry to interrupt you, um, I channeled something last week or the week before, and they spoke about it's the same energy as 1921. So yesterday or the day before, I went on to ChatGPT and I was like, "What happened?" Because the council spoke about similar to the energy or the vibration or the wars that were happening, whatever. And I was quite amazed as to what was shared. And it was to do with now this is what's even more fascinating for me in terms of astrology numbers. We know everything's a mathematical equation, okay? Now, this blew mine and my husband's mind because when I was reading, I was like, okay, let me check out what this is about. Because, sometimes they share things and then I don't remember when I channel. But in 1921, there was the Irish War of Independence. So the major event, now this is what blew my mind, Lauren, was, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I couldn't see
Okay.
you. Sorry, because I'm reading this. Um, um, exactly that. Are you there? Yes. No, I'm here. Okay. So July the 11th, a truce was declared, effectively ending the war. And December the 6th, an Anglo-Irish treaty signed, creating the Irish Free State now, the Republic of Ireland. Now, both those dates, the July the 11th is my son's birthday, and December the 6th is my daughter's birthday.
Oh, wow.
I know, right? I
Wow.
know. I mean, holy. So then I kept reading, and it was just like, there were a lot of wars and battles that were ending. And but, the one is the Polish-Soviet War, although mostly fought earlier, 1920 war saw the end of the conflict. Mongolian Revolution, Mongolia, the Soviet support expelled Chinese forces. Conflicts in China. China was divided among warlords after the fall of the Qing dynasty, I think that's how I say it, numerous regional. So it's quite interesting, hey, when what you're sharing, what the council are bringing, we're all picking up on so many different filters and information. But I love that. I love that the fact that there's something similar in the vibration, like you saying about July. So my mind's going, oh my God, what was it in July? What was happening in July? Anyway, I can't remember for the life of me, but let's hope it was fingers crossed, all good. Great energy. Let's bring the positivity. So, anyway, just a little side note. Side note.
Um, so actually, you know what? In 19, if my memory is serving me correctly, in 1921, Uranus was most. Here, I'm gonna look this up to just double check here. Uranus was most likely in the sign of Taurus because in World War II is when Uranus was in Gemini. Uranus in Gemini is a large symbol of conflict. And obviously we had World War One in the 1920s.
Oh, wow. Look at that thick red line.
This is the 19. Okay, so I was incorrect. Uranus was in Pisces in 1921, but that that would coincide with the energies that we're having with Saturn and Neptune currently in the sign of Pisces. Pisces is it blurs the lines, blurs the boundaries. It really has a lot to do with water as well, like accidents and things happening with water, but it blurs the boundaries of things. Um, Over the last few years, we've had a lot of migrants migrating to different countries, blurring the boundaries of what country, who belongs to what country, where they're going, who's coming, who's going, borders being blurred. Um, and I actually do forget where the point I was going with that was, but with and actually went to do with something you were saying about 1921 and the
Yeah,
energies of it, and I
yeah.
totally missed my.
No, that's
I'm sorry,
okay.
my mind. I just completely lost my train of thought here.
Welcome to the supermoon. Huh? I was on, huh? What? What? What?
Oh
Oh.
boy. And that's where my mind has been all day. It's been just completely
Oh, I
just
know.
gone.
Yeah, you are doing exceptionally well showing up. So thank you for putting this
All
together.
right, well, let me get back to 2025.
Yeah, we're in
Oh boy.
2025.
Oh, okay. So Uranus and Neptune. I think that's where we were going with the energies.
Yeah.
So on the 20th, Uranus and Neptune, excuse me, I said a trine before, they'll be in a sextile with each other. Uranus will be in Taurus, Neptune will be in Pisces. They'll be at both at 29 degrees. This is very significant. 0 degrees, 29 degrees are very important degrees in astrology because they're the ending and the very beginning of a sign. So 29 degrees is the completion. It's like you've mastered something and you're ready to move to the next level. This with these two, Uranus and Neptune, this is November the 20th, um, it's like almost signifying that like we're ready to move to the next level with our thoughts, with our minds, or almost ready to graduate to the next level. Our consciousness is ready to move to the next level. Like we're done with this mundane fighting, riffraff, this conflicts back and forth, wars being started, problems arising. It's like we're ready to move forwards, move
Mm,
past these things that have always like seemed to just show up all the time, whether they're manufactured by things, other outside forces, or maybe even our own personal lives. It's like we're ready to move, like we're done with the way things are,
mm,
how we think, maybe how we deal with life. But it's like we're ready to merge our minds and consciousness to like upgrade to the next level, to see things from a different perspective, to again move past the 3D challenges and issues that seem to be holding humanity back, I guess is really the best way that I can say it. Now,
mm,
me saying that, I'm not saying that it's going to be like a bed of roses as we go through this like grading of our consciousnesses, how we think, how we perceive. Whenever there's change, there is always chaos that to change you need to let go of the old to bring in the new, but there's always this some challenges and conflicts that come along and chaos that comes along with it before we get to the other side of like the oh okay, we're here,
mm,
we made it, we've graduated.
mm,
So I see this as a very positive, because the sextile in astrology is very, the signs are, they flow very easily, they talk to each other very nicely, they get along very nicely. And again, I feel like this people will be maybe more enlightened. Maybe that's the word I'm trying to think of. More enlightened, having just more of these sudden aha moments, sudden realizations that, okay, how I'm doing this is not the right way. Maybe we all do need to come together to make these collective changes in our lives. And I say
Mm.
collective is because this is not something that happens all the time. Uranus sextile Neptune. It's like a once in a, and I wish I had the amount of years that it happened in, but it's many, many, many years that since this has happened.
Yeah.
Uranus and Neptune. Yeah.
Wow.
And it also could be um, being able to take your thoughts and bring them into reality. Bringing like, if people want to have like a more of a, just like a peaceful world, we'll say, for lack of words, that we can do it. We can bring it down. These just
Yeah.
sudden epiphanies of how to move forwards in life and worlds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just quickly Googled it, and it says the
Oh, good.
last
Thank
time
you.
Uranus and Neptune were together, they were conjunct in 1993 in the sign of Capricorn.
Okay.
So 32 years ago. Um, and I don't know how that lands with you, but it says here this was a massive collective shift, the blending of Uranus, like you say, sudden change, awakening, higher mind, Neptune, spirituality, intuition, dissolving boundaries. That's pretty cool, hey?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
hang
So
on,
it'd be
hold
like
on.
another.
The
Okay.
next meeting will be in 2165 in the sign of Taurus, which is what we're in right now, isn't it?
Hmm.
So
Yes, it'll be
they
be in
say
Taurus.
they're
Yeah.
extremely rare, about every 172 years. That's
Okay.
huge.
Okay. Yes. That's a very long time.
Wow. So we're lucky to
Yes.
be alive to be going through all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some would
Yes.
say not, but I'm just like, bring it, every day, like look for the magic and the miracles. And honestly, Lauren knows how spacey I can be sometimes and all over the place. Because I send 15 voice messages, Lauren, change this. And then she's like, what, wait, what? So we just like, just park it. Let's just leave it till tomorrow. And it is that dance, isn't it? It's like really learning each other. It's really learning how
Hmm.
we show up for each other, get one another. I'm most certainly noticing that in relationships, in this chaos, in this discombobulation of energy, because that's how it feels. It's kind of like the universe is going, okay, well, what is it you want? Bring in what you want. Bring in what you want. And what you don't want is it's shifting, it's changing.
Hmm.
And we're in a transformative time, aren't we?
All right. So lots of changes going on with this month. Um, all right. So we have Mars entering into Sagittarius November the 4th. We have Uranus going back into Gemini on the 7th. Venus will go into Scorpio. It goes into it this month. I don't know why I'm not seeing this right now, but Venus will go into the sign of Scorpio this month as well. And Mercury, will that change signs? No, actually, that will stay. Sometimes when Mercury's retrograde, it changes signs. This
Mm.
time around, it will be staying in its sign of Sagittarius. Yeah, the whole time. But Mars, Venus, especially Uranus, changing their signs. Um, with Mars opposite Uranus, sudden changes, sudden changes, sudden shifts. With Venus moving into Scorpio, it's really looking deep, reflecting deep into yourselves, looking at the darker parts of yourselves that we might not want to always look at, because it is a challenge to face the parts of ourselves that we don't want to acknowledge.
Hmm.
But with Venus in Scorpio, it can help us to uncover that, face it, and move through it. All the energy, actually, I would say, is really within our reflecting inwards to heal it and to move forwards and move on from it, move past it, to heal ourselves. Mars in Sagittarius, that's taking actions to uh, uncover things, to free ourselves from things that hold us back in our lives, within ourselves, and on a collective level, that is, standing up and fighting back against the things in our lives in our communities that we no longer want to deal with any further, taking a stand, taking action, but it's as above, so below. So what's going on the inside is reflecting of what's going on the outside. So if you see protesting and uprisings, that is also a reflection of what's going on the inside. You know, maybe something wants to come out, or you know, when you hold things in, it does things to us in unexpected ways. Could be even health wise. It affects us in different ways that we're maybe not aware of, but that could be your inwards protesting to come out, to let itself free and, you know, release itself.
Yeah. And
Positive.
sorry to
Mhm.
interrupt you. I loved what you shared earlier on because everybody's different. So when you talk about the uprising, you talk about the chaos, you talk about, people perhaps protesting, is that some people will play that part. And I think it's really important that, you know, there seems to be an illusion that when we're walking our spiritual journeys or being spiritual, that that we're always holding what we're holding, the compassion, the light, which we know that we all are light. But some people just play a different part. Some people will go into the war. Some people will protest. Some people will stand
Mm,
back and wave the white flag behind. Some people will be there to support those that have been in the war. And
right.
it's really finding that space of clarity, because everybody
Mm,
plays a different part in life, and we've already got so much separation, but how can we show up in our being spiritual, in our
mm-hmm.
walking of spirituality, where we can share and see one another and just navigate with the new way of being. So even if you are going to be fighting and you're like, yeah, I'm going to be in the forefront of the war, great. We need people like that in this lifetime. We really do. We need people that are going to protest. We need people that are, and not that I'm putting it ahead that protesting is good, because that energy you're talking about, above and below and in and out, if the anger is in you emotionally, if you're carrying lifetimes of anger, if you're carrying ancestral or intergenerational trauma, it's going to want to express somewhere. It's going to want to come out somewhere. And then you'll have others who are just peacekeepers and saying, no, 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 we're at the back and we're just going to wave the Switzerland flag. And they might need a bit of the anger, so it's
Yeah.
like what I'm trying to say. It's like life feels so imbalanced in all of this right now. And
Mm,
it's
yeah.
finding, how can you feel a little bit more balanced? How can you create calm in the chaos?
Mm,
Because
yeah.
sometimes we just go so out of ourselves. So it really is a realization of learning, like, okay, does this feel good? Does this, oh, it feels a little bit, nope. What part am I going to step into? Because we
Yeah.
are the directors of our own movie.
Yeah, we are. I think the full moon is really reflecting that message of what you just said, finding the calm, finding the stillness. It's in Taurus, it's in an earth sign. It's helping us to ground ourselves in this chaos of trying to find our footings. If you need to rest, rest. If you need to jump and shout, go jump and shout. But again, everybody's chart is different. So all this will show up in a different way. And when I say that, this is challenging or that's challenging, what it really is, it's really a time to learn, reflect, and to see what you can let go of.
Mm,
Because again, everybody has different things in their charts, oppositions, which are challenging, squares, which are challenging, but they're really things to help us be aware of the different parts of ourselves that we need to learn about or work with in order to find the highest good for ourselves.
mm.
Yeah.
So how about this? How about we blip, 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 blip. We rewind. um, how about we maybe even look at this like in the middle of November, and we redo this and then look at like what's coming up from, because you've shared a lot already. And
Mm-hmm.
so what do you feel like if we do like maybe in the next 15 days, like after the 11th, let's see what energy is presenting itself
Oh,
then,
yeah.
because
That'd be
it
great.
feels like a
Yes.
lot to actually put in the whole of November. Just by what you've
Yeah.
already shared, I'm like,
It is a lot.
that's a great amount of information. No, it's awesome. I think it's fabulous. But
Oh.
how does that feel to you, Lauren? That doing you were talking about, eh?
Yeah.
That's an idea. Make it happen. Come on. Get with the program, guys. No,
No, I
Michelle,
think
thumbs in.
let's break it down. I know, I think that sounds great. Yeah. I think
Okay.
scatterbrained is probably a word that I didn't say, but that is something else that we can be feeling is just all over the place a
Ah,
little
that
bit.
makes sense. I know that's what's so funny, hey, it's just when you really start learning about yourself and how the everything has a plays its part. It really is
Yeah.
just a learning. Like I just sometimes
hmm
just lie and I'm like, just go and sit on the grass or whatever. Because I remember Pam Gregory said this year is very much about grounding, like very much.
Yeah,
And
I like
that
Pam
was great
Gregory. Yeah.
information to take and just
hmm
listen to that, and
Yeah.
lean into it. So yeah. But thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to share?
Um, no, I don't think so. I think
Okay.
that's a good amount of information
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
share. Just changes. That's a lot of
Amazing.
changes, growth, a little bit of chaos, but again, that chaos helps us to change to where we need to be and grow.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Always, eh? That's pretty
Mm.
special. Yeah.